Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... Don't have the thing pulled up. Here we go. Okay, you didn't see that, but when that intro was playing, I realized that I hadn't put down the pillows for soundproofing on either the doors in here. One of them wasn't closed, and there was also a shirt and a cardigan and stuff on top of the pillows. So just during that time, I just got up, had my headphones still on, so I knew where the music was going. I was like Mission Impossible the whole process. So there you go, crazy Fed Jacob antics once again, I suppose. Oh well, there are worse ways to start this off, considering that I also started late because I was, out at the theatre company's curry night without having any curry. That's another long story. I'll talk about that on Walking Wednesday. For now, we've got something else to talk about, and that is this right here. We have in our midst another Gacha musical production. With copyrighted music, apparently. Thank you, Johnny, for letting me know about that. I did cross-reference because obviously every time you play a new video, it takes a few seconds for it to load the pause feature. So I was able to confirm that, yes, it starts off immediately. This goes like, hey, boy, I gotta get ya. So, yeah. I'm aware of what I'm getting myself into now, to some degree, I suppose. But beyond that, not much. The creator's name is KawaiiChanVA, which already I give mad props to because obviously, clearly a fellow Aphmau fan, all things considered, and potentially an Aphmau fan, who has seen some of the older stuff. I'm not sure if we're gonna get any references to that, but I don't know. I believe this is a relatively newish channel, so. Who knows, maybe this is their first foray into the world of Gacha, and they want to, start off on the deep end, which I can completely appreciate because that's exactly what I tried to do. Even down to trying to make a Gacha musical at some point, and then not actually producing it. So hey, they got a leg up on me, I suppose. Yeah, with that in mind, let's see what this whole thing is all about. It's called Accidentally Uploaded, so I'm guessing it might be the cliche idea of, someone gets their, that has a video of them singing, they record themselves, they didn't mean to upload to the internet, so then in a Gem and the Holograms 2015 movie style, they end up getting seen or something like that. Or real life Justin Bieber, actually. Although that wasn't accidental. He meant to post those. Anyway. So, the channel was created March 1st, 2025. This video is 5 days old, so it took a while before this series came out. But yes, okay, very fresh channel. Possibly not so fresh idea. But then again, with Gacha musicals, they're mostly compared to the Music Freaks anyway. So as long as it's not too similar to that, we should be okay. So without further ado, on with the review. Hey boy, gotta get ya, or something. I suppose. Hold on, is this whole thing just a musical number covering the Twice song specifically? Okay, so I've talked about this. The one thing that I really hope that, someone does at some point, maybe me, maybe someone else, is a musical with original songs for the musical itself. Or at least performances done by, the VAs, because I don't think I've seen that yet. Of all the Gacha musicals that I've seen, that's just not a thing. That's partly because the Gacha musical originated as, an extension of the Gacha music videos, which end up getting their own stories and then being produced like that. And that was what led to the Music Freaks being made in the way that it was, and just amping up the visual production of these things and adding voice acting. So yeah, partly I can see why that's just still a staple, but I'm hoping that that's the next step. That's the next step, the next evolution forward. So I'm hoping that's not the case. not that it would be like bad musical itself if it weren't, but obviously if I can't play the songs, then that's a little bit of a challenge when it comes to judging the music stuff. So let's see. I don't know how long this is gonna last, but I'm just gonna go to the intro. Oh wait, no, this is the actual. Okay, I thought it was gonna be like a full concert. That was like the first musical number. Okay, so we've got Hannah, Lexi, and Ariana. All right, and Idol Arena, but the series is called pilot. But well, the series is called Accidentally Uploaded, right? I mean, it says pilot episode, a Gacha voice acted musical series, accidentally uploaded. That's the full title. Because I had a Gacha review to this one, obviously. So, is the series... You didn't put the series title in the video title? Okay. Okay. They've understood this is KawaiiChan, aka Catherine. If it's rated to AFMAL. You don't think it's rated to AFMAL because they have a real name in real life? What about the fact that their profile picture is pink? I'm still on the fence about that one. Considering that KawaiiChan is, hyper specific. It could be a coincidence, but I'm leaning towards it isn't, and they just happen to be called Catherine in real life.
Another day at Joyful Smoothie. Ready for the shift?
No.
Is Joyful Smoothie possibly reference to Joyful Burger in Gumball? Maybe. Also, I like how there's like an actual menu in background. This seems to be like the background style of potentially custom drawn or custom edited in an art program, because that you have like the simplistic walls you don't get from like sourced backgrounds, but you do get for things that might like allow for different angles potentially. And also, I guess there's this character here with like this nose piercing that I don't think I've seen. Oh yeah, because of the nose is the way that they are right now. There's like a little bit of like a stud underneath. Okay, so we have a little bit of customization going on, and also obviously like foreground details as well that are definitely custom made. So okay, again, starting off pretty strong.
I'm tired.
Go Purple has given me Juleka vibes. You know what? You're very right. You're very right. Less current Juleka, but definitely more seasons 1 through 5 Juleka for sure.
In this job never pays well, but I'm only here because of your surprisingly positive attitude.
Thank you for clarifying that to the audience as your first introductory line. Very useful for expositional purposes.
Makes it less miserable, I guess.
Now that's the spirit!
By the way, one thing I'll say about this, as a suggestion in the future for like making custom menus, because all of those things there saying like strawberry smoothie, peach smoothie, blueberry smoothie, it kind of sounds like like the bit in Evantris where they go through all the different like sources and Greco's just going like okay to each of the options. It feels like that, but that was deliberately repetitive. For considering that all of these things are different smoothies, I would have personally just like said, instead of like the word menu, put smoothies at the top, and then strawberry with all the different prices and such, and all the different ones that way. That probably would be the best, the better alternative, rather than putting like smoothie all the time. No one's credited for the background, so I assume the creator themselves made them, but some people are credited for background characters. Okay. Now that feels like a typical Gacha production. Get people to submit a few extras. I speak from experience. I've done that before.
Hey, welcome to...
Looks pretty cute, but I feel like it's a bit empty. Yeah, that is the thing with custom backgrounds, because when you're like making the stuff yourself, what they're fantastic at is allowing you to play around with like different angles. So because like as Ghosty has mentioned before, Gacha characters are stuck at a 3/4 angle constantly, or like a 3/4 POV, whatever you want to call it, orientation. I'm not sure what the proper wording is. So in order to like have like the like left to right or like justified shots, or shot counter shot, if you want to do that, even like the simple cinematic technique that like most things have nowadays, or in the history of cinema, it's very hard to do. You have to do them just like side by side. And custom backgrounds are great for that. So I'm hoping that they take advantage of that. But it does mean if you're making them yourself, usually the actual backgrounds are lacking in detail because you want to like put in the details yourself. So that is the usual trade-off, I suppose. I guess the other question is, what kind of things would you put here? I feel like a window of some description, potentially like a back door for this one specifically, but for custom backgrounds in general. A great example of how custom backgrounds work and even in their simplest form is actually Rare, the series Rare. That's probably the best example I can think of. What I used to do when I was helping my friend with her comic. Oh, use the Sims 4 to make a base for our background so the layout and the room didn't feel too empty. Yes. So funny you should mention that, because that's exactly what Ghosty did for the backgrounds in the Mutant Girl. So any backgrounds you'll see in Season 3 for the school specifically, because that's like whole new ones, are actually ones that Ghosty filmed and took pictures of after building them, and then drew over them to make them into like the vector images that Gacha normally has. So yeah, I guess I also have experience delegating that process, I suppose you could say. So yeah, shout out to Ghosty for those. Absolutely. But yeah, I guess I don't think these ones are Sims ones specifically, but yeah, I guess you could. They'd be easy to decorate if that's the case. So yeah, I suppose that makes sense. Background characters, McSquizzy. I love usernames sometimes. MyFinVA and TammyVO. A common theme with KawaiiChanVA being the person. So I assume that maybe like those are some of the VAs and VOs in the series. Hopefully. I don't know. It's just upgrading backgrounds in comics. They also use Minecraft sometimes. Yeah, Minecraft, depending on like what style of comic you're going for, it can sometimes like offset things. Because I've said before, I don't mind when a gacha background looks vastly different to the gacha characters, because I've seen good examples of how that's done, and how it can be like stylistic almost, Similarly to how people don't complain about like eyeless characters and eye patches, and I do, compared to that's like my equivalent with like, non-vector backgrounds. So, so if I saw like a background made in Minecraft, I wouldn't blink an eye, as long as they're like properly applied. I guess like the problem is that, everyone else would see like the huge contrast between them, unless you use like a specific texture pack in Minecraft before you make the background. So if anyone wants to go that process, think about texture packs, so that will ease your process later. And come to think about it, I might try that myself at some point, if I can find a good texture pack that would make Minecraft backgrounds look more like Gacha. That would actually be extremely helpful. Alright, I'm making note of that idea, putting that on the back burner. Well, I mean, caramel smoothie is on there, so yeah, guy. Knock yourself out, I suppose.
Joyful smoothie! What would you like to order?
Wait. What's going on? Oh, sorry. I've seen a WhatsApp message that I was supposed to receive a while ago, and it threw me off, and I was like, oh, okay. I guess it only just appeared now. But no, it is from, like, earlier, so... Sorry. My mistake. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the perspective. Yeah, just when the perspective is told exactly very good. Yes, it was. I feel like now removing that and just like resizing the menu and not much of the background itself kind of defeats the purpose. This is where pre-rendering comes in, by the way. If you had a character who was already in position in the scene, looking at that menu, then you could just... Oh dear. Then you could just zoom in to that character and then, be done with it. So...
Wow! So many flavors!
Would I be scared? Her pupils just dilated.
Who knows? She's probably just zoning out.
Beach! I want a beach!
I don't know about zoning out if she's, like, reacting to the flavors.
Smoothie.
Oh, look, there's a window. So now there's a window here. I guess out of nowhere. Is that a child? You mean like the VA? Yeah, and the VA or the character? The answer is probably yes to both, but I would assume the character's a child.
Please.
Oh, right. That'll be.
And now she's gone. Yeah. So again, the problem is that this person is trying to do camera angles, like trying to do like different angles, but is not resizing anything. Because if you want to like have something that to seem like you're closer to a particular person, and you don't resize the background they're in, it just seems like the person kind of like just like did that rather than like the camera naturally moving towards them. You know, it's a difference.
$4.
I have 16 quarters. How much is that?
That's $4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here you go.
Yeah. So definitely child.
Thanks. Paige, one small piece
And where's the menu? See, that's the thing. You move like the different things, and then the backgrounds disappear.
smoothie for the kid.
One moment while I craft your smoothie with all
One moment while our very reality crashes before us, before we and then eventually end up in the uncaring abyss of the void.
the passion my minimum wage heart can give.
Yep, and now they're all gone.
Here is your small peach smoothie. How does it taste?
What do you mean, how does it taste? You literally just presented it and was like, yeah, look at, here's the thing I made for you. How does it taste? Before you've tried it and before I've handed it to you. What do you mean? So I guess this is another example of not leaving enough time for reactions to occur. This is something, you know, again, this channel is fresh, so I can see these things actually happening. But one thing I've run into a lot of the time is like early Fallen Angels, the example I always go back to. You know, early Fallen Angels, if you go back to the first few episodes, there's like the presumption almost from Aiden that like any moments of like silence where like nothing is happening means that nothing is happening. So when I would say like no one is speaking, nothing is happening. So and that's the problem when you're trying to do something like visual storytelling. The temptation with voice acting is to feel like everything with a character's audio, but then you miss out on the fact that we're still in a visual medium. So moments of reactions or like just a scene where someone like hands a smoothie over to another character, and then it magically resizes between shots, but we're ignoring that. Then that should be enough. Before then, the next person, that's the person that speaks again and says, "How does it taste?" What should have happened was, you know, we should have gone, you know, here's your peach smoothie. How does it taste? Otherwise, again, it seems very unnatural. Speak like that so funny so you have any energy, but starts laughing loud and gone on reclass like she's possessed. Well, hey, look, as far as performances go, they're all doing their job really well. You know, we've got someone who's doing like the apathetic the apathetic rundown employee, but not to a degree where they seem, you know, too monotone or robotic. We've got the go lucky potential manager possibly, or just like, you know, senior employee of some kind, and then child. You know, this VA is very good at performing child. So there you go. As far as voice acting goes, I'm on board with them so far. As far as editing goes, oh boy. But yeah, if I was working there, I'd be like, it's the next customer to counter now. And that's why they probably wouldn't hire you.
It tastes like peach.
Yeah, see, we had like a little like a gulp there, basically. But yeah, the question should have been like afterwards. You know, again, gulp first, then question, then peach.
I think that's the whole point.
It's so
It was a bit of a redundant question, not gonna lie.
peachy and delicious. Yummy.
Well, I'm glad you like it. Thanks for stopping by.
It's been a long.
Ah, the lovely aspect ratio. So, if I had to guess what happened in this scene, because this is an actual gacha background compared to the other one, which was custom, what I'm guessing is that whichever way that this creator has to export gacha backgrounds, or like, gacha screenshots, without that to be resized in accordance with the custom backgrounds, which are made from other things, like, I don't know, insert art program here. Yeah. This is a thing where, like, you just had to, like, drag up the images of, like, everything. Maybe, again, pre-render it, and then just, zoom in on the render specifically if they're, like, multiple screenshots that would have this issue.
Long day. When are we gonna go home?
Also, again, it wasn't her fault. It was the employee who was just like, they're like, how does it taste? So the employee asked a really dumb question. The child gave an honest answer to the dumb question, so the child did nothing wrong there.
In about 10 minutes. That's when our shift ends for the day.
Thank goodness. I am so sleepy.
Me too.
Hold on a second, it's gone out of sync for me, so I'm just going to pause it again. Tiny stuff without living a Snow White tale, or there are 7 dwarfs nearby. Well, I mean, this seems to be their break room, so potentially it's more of a commentary on how poorly furnished break rooms are compared to, like, this is their actual living space, because she did say that their shift ends sometime soon, so,
Could use a good nap by now, with how difficult that one order was for that lady.
For real. I believe it was
A strawberry smoothie with banana milk, 2 vanilla teaspoons, marshmallow bubbles, and whipped cream with strawberry shavings.
Marshmallow bubbles? That should have been a retake.
It's a smoothie shop, not a Starbucks.
Also, yeah, that child brewed honesty. Yeah, it was brutal honesty, but it wasn't. It wasn't even brutal. It was just honesty. There was nothing brutal about it because it was a dumb question, but an innocent one nonetheless, and it was given a happy answer. Yeah, I'm with the child on this one.
I know, right? And then she added more to her order, but at least she was not Karen.
Yeah, but anyways, I should get going back home so I can
Practice on an album?
Yep, I have the whole lyrics down. I'll see what Lexi and Ariana are doing now. See you later, Paige.
Alright, see ya.
So they already have their group formed. Given that it's called accidentally upload, I thought there were going to be like a case of like this person being scouted, but hey, I'm glad to be wrong. Although it does make you wonder how come they're like recording themselves. Was it just for like, but maybe the videos are like for their personal use to like so they can refine themselves after rehearsals and eventually perform. Because I feel like if you're in a band already, you would most likely have the intention of performing at some point, rather than the alternative of accidentally uploading something and being like, oh well, we weren't ready yet.
Finally finished with schoolwork.
Okay, so now the background is, once again, still not cropped correctly, but is at least like a little bit above. Also, what is going on with your lips, Ariana? You probably need to see a doctor about those. Jeez, that's some localized albinism right there.
Now I can at least relax for a bit. What about you?
I am super excited about recording, and also...
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. That was totally unintentional. He sounds sarcastic, but also like I just grabbed him and being like, "What are you doing, Samwise Gamgee?" Really brutal with people. Some kids are obsessed with me despite the fact they get annoyed easily. Matter of things as small as my line. I trim massive graph being slightly off. Yeah, and this is why they wouldn't hire you for that coffee store, like I said before. That's my brutal honesty for you.
I wasn't looking where I was going, and
Hey, are you okay?
So pretty. Wait,
He said the quiet part out loud.
did
Okay.
I say that out loud?
Yeah, okay. So this here, I can see what you're trying to do. Like they've got like the hesitation down for this character, but I would definitely think like the panic is not there. Like because it feels like there's no like ascension or like no difference in intensity. You know, Like you go from like, I'm sorry, I didn't know where I was going, but then that's significantly less of an issue compared to like saying someone's so pretty out loud, or it's like to all people's heads. So then it could be like, so pretty. I mean, oh, did I say that out loud? Oh no, like something like that, like speed up, get more, like get louder, you know, some escalation there. It can't all be like the same as before. We get the idea the character is stuttery, but now let's have some more variation in there.
Never mind. I should get going now.
Unless you are blind, it is pretty obvious that he likes you.
Well, I'd say more deaf, considering that he said that part out loud. So, yeah, she would have to be deaf, correct?
What?
So the real stutter is clearly a forced stutter. Okay, yes, that's also going to happen. You know, if someone doesn't have a stutter in real life, they're going to have to force it to some degree, basically. But yeah, I don't know. It really depends, because, you know, you want to try to emulate something. So yeah, that stutter could have also used a bit more practice, ultimately. I'm not sure if it's meant to be like an actual like stutter, like speech impediment stutter, or more just that the character was stuttering due to being panicky and shy. I'm guessing it was the latter, but you never know.
What? He likes me?
Okay, never mind, she is deaf.
Who knows? But the way he was stuttering and his face flashed, the puzzle
Oh, and she's gone.
pieces are connecting.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I've said before, but in the Mutant Girl, whenever I want to like a variation of camera angles, I don't put the characters too close to each other. That's unless I'm okay with them appearing in the close-up itself. That's also why for some scenes that I didn't film, but I'm doing the camera angles for, they look much like they're either like much more of a distance or they're closer up because the other editors don't have the same philosophy as me. But I tend to try to keep them at a distance, so if I know I want to zoom in from one side to another, that it's not going to look weird that one of them just vanished while the other one slightly got close to the camera, you know? So that's the recommendation here. If you want to zoom in, keep the characters a little bit further apart. From a proxemics point of view, them being so physically close together does suggest that they have a very close relationship, and that's fantastic. But if you're going to do this kind of thing, you might want to sacrifice that, or go the custom backgrounds route again, and play around with some angles of the different walls. That would also work. We saw a script about where South Asian characters really amazed with the person who wrote it for whitewash and changed the name from Hussein to Joshua. I mean, that's a valid criticism. If it was like, it does. In this day and age, the idea of like, not just whitewashing, but like localizing something to that degree, it's kind of like lost its sense in the age of like how much globalization has gone on. Because like, why even bother at this point? It's not like they're not going to learn about the existence of other characters, and this show might have been the method in which you wanted to do so. So yeah, honestly, that is I would say that is a justified rant right there. We gone are the days where we need to like localize Janochi to Joey Wheeler, for example, even though obviously those names are taken on an iconic feature, but we don't need any more to add on top of that.
He's kind of
yeah, see, and once again, the background didn't actually change dimension, so the idea of like an angle, but I already made that point. It's the same throughout.
cute though.
Knew it.
Finally done with that song!
That was kind of fun, though.
Oh my goodness, I first like her eyes. Ariana's eyes are they're so terrifying.
Let's do it again.
I know there's no light behind those eyes in terms from given her reaction with that other guy, but I mean, aside from that, it's like you don't need to like visually represent that, Yeah, her outfit's great. Her eyes are pools of despair.
Not now, but I do think we should order takeout and just relax for a bit. Don't you think, Hannah?
Yes!
Sorry, hold on. I need to rewind that. I was looking at this comment. It's like, do I address this? Because we made that point already. But yeah, that doesn't. Here's a name from Safia to Samantha. Safia's just a, Safia's just a more interesting sounding name, to be honest. No offense to any Samanthas out there.
Do you think we should order takeout and just relax for a bit? Don't you think, Hannah?
Yes!
Okay, so instead of ordering takeout, they upload the video, and that was the idea. Okay. Question. Upload it to where? Because it depends on how they recorded it. I remember that when I started YouTube, my first recorder that I used up until 2019, actually, it was called EasyVid. Some of the old Music Girl videos are filmed with EasyVid. But what was I going to say? I forgot now. Oh yeah, EasyVid had a feature where you could upload directly to YouTube if it was like set up to your account, basically. The same way that streaming software nowadays would like connect directly to your account with a stream key, so you could stream live. Not like I'm doing right now. I'm using a website, but similar idea. So. And that's actually why I didn't know how to manually upload videos to YouTube for the first 2 years of having a channel, because I only used that feature, and I didn't know how to fix it if it didn't like render the video properly, and that's why a lot of my stuff is out of sync and blah blah blah. Old videos being terrible, nothing new under the sun. Point is, some recording softwares, and by extension editing softwares, because EasyVid also was an editing software, will have a option to directly upload your video to a specific platform. But normally in any of those situations, you have to have an account set up and synced up to the recorder in order to make that actually happen in the first place. The way that like some shows get around this, like the first episode of iCarly has a similar accidental uploaded idea, right? But the point was that in that video, what happened was they filmed a talent show, or they filmed talent show auditions, but then they also had like a bit where like Freddie filmed Carly and Sam like riffing on the contestants and on their teacher, basically, and then just like it's like poking fun at them, like having like some silly moments or something, but he promised to edit that part out of the video before it was uploaded. So he intended to upload the video, but he instead edited everything out but those comments, and that's what caused iCarly to actually come into existence. So me and Kai master back in 2019. See, similar idea. But it's synced up to your account, I would assume. The point is, there needs to be like some idea that somebody intended to upload something at some point for this idea to work. I haven't seen the Gem 2015 movie, and based on what people say about it, I don't think I should. But I think that's another similar thing where that was recorded, and I think it was meant to be like a private like video set up, but it was set to public or something. That's the idea of like accidental uploading. Upload buttons like this don't normally happen, and I would say that this is something that people might not realize, but this is literally a video uploaded to YouTube, so you kind of have to know how it works in order for this to actually take place, which is kind of weird. But there you go. Need to find any processes. That's if they realize. What I'm guessing is that if they're going to order takeout right now, they're not going to realize that the video is up, and so they're gonna leave. And that's it. Guess the girls are ready for some takeout.
Alright, wait. What did you just do?
What are you talking about? Oh,
Yeah, you vanished the computer. It's no longer in existence, I suppose, to the ether with it.
oh no!
And there is a laptop backup in Gacha, so, that still can
You
happen.
just upload our music video?
Oh my gosh! I did not mean to do that!
We did not
To where? To what platform? On whose account?
even cut out all the errors we made. Please tell me you deleted it.
Okay, there! I deleted it!
No, you didn't. You put your phone over a mattress. Again, there's an actual prop. Use it.
Now then, let's just get some
It's out a title description. It depends. Sometimes you can, depending on like how it works, like sometimes there'll be like, I think I think if you don't upload a title from EasyVid, it just said my EasyVid video, and that was it. I always would change the title before I uploaded it, or like title the specific project before it was processed. That's how I would do it. But yeah, like sometimes it will like automatically generate like a video, like a title, or it might just be, there are some YouTube channels out there like very like you know, like the very very small ones, like 1 or 2 subscribers that like clearly one person upload like home videos onto in like 2010 or whatever, like those kinds of channels. They actually have videos that are titled just like, you know, like 2010, 08, 07 or whatever, or you know, like or you know, 2025, 16, 12, something like that. I don't know, whatever it might. That wouldn't work for American data systems. Whatever. My point is, sometimes it'll just, there's, you know, the file name will decide that, or the program itself. So I don't know. Deleted. Yeah. Yeah, you would think. Which, by the way, yeah, uploading a video and then deleting it a second later, that's not gonna give enough time for it to like gain any sort of traction normally. So you would think. I thought they were gonna just like have it boost up. Again, going back to iCarly, what happened was that they only realized the next day that something had happened, and so they had enough time for it to. I think it was like 27 or like 25,000 views or something, which for 2007 is astronomical. But you know, that idea, like that those people needed time to find that footage in the first place, especially because it was uploaded to, I presume, a school account, so they wouldn't be looking for it naturally.
I can't call it a day.
Why is my laptop buzzing so much?
OMG, so good!
Underrated!
This needs reviews.
Divas.
You know, the ironic thing is, if you go to the description and like check this video, if you check the comments on this video specifically, the comments are remarkably similar to the ones in this actual video. They predicted their own They predicted their own comment section, is what I was trying to say.
For real.
We went viral? Oh my goodness!
Well, you got 4 comments. I don't know about going viral yet. For that to make sense, you need to like show the view count and possibly like the like the like count as well to qualify as that. Because again, and also again, on what platform? It's not as simple as that. The idea of going viral. That term has almost lost all meaning in this day.
We actually went viral!
Could you lower your tone? I'm trying to sleep!
We went viral!
Hello. I have seen your music video and I would like to ask you, do you 3 want to join the Idol Arena to practice for an upcoming show?
Yep, I thought so. I thought it was going to be that this was going to be the idea that someone like scouted them from their video, which means it needed to stay up so it couldn't be deleted immediately.
I said, be quiet!
Okay, and yep, it's the same song again. They're gonna get me. Copyright's gonna get me if they're not careful. That's what happens. So yeah, I guess this was the episode, and I guess we're seeing the intro a second time as the outro. Right. Feel like you might want something else at the end here, like possibly, you know, like the VA credits of some kind, the thanks for watching, like something different, maybe like a different song, not gonna lie. So I guess all the songs in this video were copyrighted because the intro was the only musical anything in this one. For something called a Gacha voice-acted musical series, that kind of seems like false advertising if you don't have, you know, music. Granted, I know that Rosie Closey is trying to say that she won't put a music number in every single episode of Music Freaks from now on, like for season 2. But, you know, I feel like at least in the first episode, to set the tone, you need something. Even my passion for as much as I've like griped with that series, it didn't have the best opening number compared to what it would do later down the line, but it had a number. It was diegetic, so would it count as a musical number? Depends on your definition, but a character sang. part of what you need in this. And it would have worked if we'd actually seen the music video. I think if we'd seen them like rehearsing for it, maybe like even a montage of some kind while the song was playing. Think about like I don't know if anyone here has seen Pitch Perfect, but think about like how they did the audition scene where it was all the same song minus the cup song because blah blah blah, but everyone else did the same song Since You've Been Gone. And in reality, that would have been extremely boring for the audition panel to listen to over and over and over again. Not gonna lie, I personally would not set it up like that, but they did, and the reason is because cinematically, what they did was they overlaid the different people. They had a few like solo moments if someone was particularly funny in their thing. They montaged them. They harmonized them. They did all kinds of things basically, and people auditioned for like the different like ideas like they wanted to be the beatboxers, or they wanted to be the backing chanters or whatever, because it's all about a cappella numbers. So of course it made sense. In this video, what you could have done is had like them rehearsing, like getting things in the actual song while the song itself was playing, whatever it might actually be. So we get a sense, we the audience get a sense of what their talents actually are, and what kind of and why their comments are so but the commenters are so positive. Because otherwise, it's literally an example of show don't tell. We're told, that the song is quite good because of the comments, but we're not shown the actual song itself, so we can't draw that conclusion for ourselves. So that, to me, is the biggest failing of this episode, the fact that it didn't achieve the minimum to become a musical series, at least in its first episode. The second failing, of course, would be the editing for, the beginning scene of, like, the close-ups. I get the idea of trying to, like, have the characters physically get closer, but again, difference between if I get closer like this, you see, look at that in the background. Check out that. That it's a light. The light does not move, even if I myself do, and you can tell that all I've done is like get myself closer. Compare that to if I say pretend I'm in a pre-rendered image now, of course. If I move my camera closer, the light is out of frame, but it's also closer. If I turn the angle. That's the kind of thing that you need, basically. So again, pre-render the scenes, add a musical number, and honestly, otherwise you're there. As far as voice acting goes, the one guy like played the stuttering character. I had a few gripes with, but not that many, and everyone else did a pretty good job considering the material that was there. And as far as the story goes, we got to see the main character in her workplace, and then afterwards like her actual passion. All we need to do now is see the passion, but we get a sense of that work-life balance that she has, and the aspirations, and I guess the idea of like accidentally uploading it or something. The thing is, like in this version, there's no point for the upload to be accidental, because immediately, as soon as she like sees that there's like this big like fanfare about the video, she's excited about it. Which kind of means that what was the point of them being embarrassed about uploading it? Because as I'm to understand that if someone's embarrassed of a particular, video project, they don't want that to be seen by people. That's where the embarrassment comes from. So if you don't want your thing to be seen, you're not going to have a good reaction to going viral. The other two characters did. Maybe it's because like Ariana has like bigger ambitions than they do, and they were hesitant about it. Actually, now that I say that, I've changed my mind. That's probably what it is, and that's a character defining thing. So it's even better. It even took me a while to realize that. So yeah, we have the other characters being defined in some way. I'm hoping that for the rest of this series, they're going to actually dedicate some more time to the other characters too. Like we've got something with them now that they're not as ambitious, but what are they? You know, we know that they're not ready for stardom. So you know, what traits do they have? We need to know that for the future. Otherwise, you run into the issue that K-pop Demon Hunters did, because, but the biggest complaint that I would have about K-pop Demon Hunters, because it had to be, because it wasn't a TV show and it became a movie, they had to cut down on so much they were going to like elaborate on. So things like, you know, Mira and Zoe's personalities are there, but most of it comes from the exposition from the fans, and that's again, same problem with Show Don't Tell. Some of it is present in some cases, and of course there's the tension between, like, you know, Rumi and Mira particularly, but it's not like it only gets a couple of scenes, and it feels like the blow up is not justified, like, you know, during like that one like middle arc fight sequence, because it didn't have the time to fester in the background. So yeah, in this show, you do have a TV show, or, you know, of an internet show. So give yourself that time to, you know, make sure to not fall in the same pitfalls. And hopefully choose some songs that are copyright free for your own sake, but also for mine. A little bit of an ulterior motive there. Or honestly, you know, if you're feeling really brave about it, try to create your own. Hit me up if you want some lyrics, actually. You know, my Discord DMs are always open. That's all I can really say for now. So this didn't pull you in. The thing is, yeah, it's because, like, it's the same ideas. Like, we've seen other stuff before do this idea, or like it almost felt like it had to be, like, you know, it was obligatory for, like, needed to be like accidental upload. You know, the character stuff that I mentioned before, like the actual story, like, setup, it is good, but yeah, I guess it's not super unique, all things considered, right now. So I don't know. We're wrapping up, Ghost Kitty, so yeah, it might be something to come back to. But anyway, so yeah, hopefully this will find a bit more of its footing as it continues. If you need help with those lyrics, again, let me know. But best of luck to, I guess, them in general. We'll see what happens from here. So please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.